Hey everyone, I'm Ian McCarthy, and today I am bringing back my Thinking for Life channel to talk to you for a few minutes about the phrase, "I don't have any beliefs," and why I think this phrase is problematic and shouldn't be used. So to give a little bit of context, I think I was originally exposed to this in 2012 in watching a Lawrence Krauss lecture or debate. This is a phrase that he uses fairly frequently, and I probably regurgitated it at the time, not knowing what I was talking about. And I think there are a couple of big issues with this phrase which render it something which shouldn't be said. The first is that it simply isn't true. To believe something is just to regard something as being true. So if I say that I believe the sky is blue, or more technically, if I believe the sky is blue, that means I regard as true the proposition, the sky is blue. That's it. It doesn't entail anything about the evidence for or against that belief. It doesn't say anything about whether I have faith in something. All it indicates is I regard that proposition as being true. So Lawrence Krauss and anyone else who has ever said this is simply saying something that is not true about themselves. Indeed, presumably in saying, and this is something that has been pointed out, I think it was pointed out by William Lane Craig to Lawrence Krauss in person when they were debating. If someone says, "I don't have any beliefs," presumably they regard as true the statement, "I don't have any beliefs," which is to say they believe they don't have any beliefs and therefore they have at least one belief. So I think I totally understand that for some people, an immediate response to this will be, okay, who cares? Like, this sounds extraordinarily pedantic. You know what people mean, etc. And I'll come back to that in a moment. But the second issue lies in the fact that I think misunderstandings in principle very often at least have the potential to generate misunderstandings in practice. For example, if someone subscribes to this view of they don't have beliefs, having beliefs is a bad thing, you don't want to have beliefs, and they ask me, "Ian, what do you think about training frequency?" And I say, well, I believe it's generally the case training each muscle or twice per week is superior to training each muscle once a week. They then might say, well, do you believe that, or does the data indicate that? This or that. Well, there's no genuine dichotomy there. Obviously, I can regard it as being true that this is superior, and the scientific evidence can indicate that it's superior. And I would hope that I hold that belief, at least partially because of the scientific evidence. But again, there's no dichotomy. I don't have to pick between believing it or the data indicating it. And I think that's I've never had that discussion, but I think that's a plausible discussion, or discussions like that could arise in practice as a result of people simply not understanding what the word belief means. And note that that kind of discussion, do you believe that, or is it the data? I don't perceive that as a productive line of discussion. So it's just confused and arising from this person doesn't know what this word means. Now, I get that what's probably being spoken to is something like, we want our beliefs to be based on evidence. We don't want them to be arbitrary or purely based on tradition or something like this. And I think those are totally legitimate principles. But my response would be, let's just say what we mean, which is our beliefs should be based on evidence. Our beliefs should not be wholly based on tradition. Our beliefs shouldn't be arbitrarily made up, etc. If that is what you believe, if those are principles to which you hold, then just articulate what it is you really mean and what it is you think, as opposed to using a meme that is actually technically false and then can result in confusion like that example I spoke to. So again, we all believe things to say that you don't hold any beliefs or you don't believe anything is incorrect, and I think speaks to a lack of comprehension of the concept, and I fear that it can lead to confusion in practice. So let's just get to the heart of it and speak to desiring beliefs to be based on evidence and so on. So thank you so much for your time, guys. I appreciate you watching. Please do like the video if you found it informative. Feel free to comment below if you have questions or comments for the comment section. And we'll see, what I do with Thinking for Life moving forward, given Lifting for Life is my main focus. But there are definitely, issues I see come up to which I could speak that aren't strictly fitness related. So thank you again. I will see you again soon.